Om Tridevibhyo Namaha. Welcome to Trishakti Healing, a place where we discuss spirituality in the context of modern life. Now, over the last several weeks, I have been speaking with you about the Shadvikaras, and the link of those 6 videos are in the description of this video, where I have in detail spoken about Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, and Matsarya, and how these impact us by destroying certain aspects of our character and our behavior itself. Today, I want to speak to you about all of these things put together and give you an overall direction about how to look at your own life. But if you have not seen those 6 videos at some point in time, do go there, see those videos, because those learnings will help you understand how do you need to change with respect to each of those Shadvikaras. Now, coming back to these Shadvikaras, Kama, which is lustful interest in material accumulation and also lust in general, Krodha, which is anger, Lobha, which is greed, and especially greed towards that which others have and one doesn't have, and Moha, which is attachment, Mada, which is arrogance and pride, and Matsarya, which is jealousy. When we speak about these, many of us think that these are just simple behavioral issues which need to be dealt with. However, as much as these are behavioral issues and they create challenges for us in life, at work, at home, in society, in general. But there are some very significantly deeper implications that are there. And one of the most critical implications that we need to examine is how each one of these is destroying our character itself. Now, in life, for success and especially for blessings for our success to happen, there are 2 things that are very important. One is the power of one's Kundali, or one's stars and the birth stars and the positions of the planets and the various yogas in our Kundali, or our Jadagam, as they would say. And the second thing that we require is a good character in life for the power of that Kundali to get transferred into actual life. So somebody could be born with a lot of blessings in their horoscope or their Kundali and their Jadagam, whereas they could completely destroy it using their character and behaviors in life. The other side also could happen, that a person could be born with a lot of significant challenges in their birth chart, the Kundali, and with their character and with the way they are devoted, with the way they do bhakti, karma, they really resolve a lot of those challenges for themselves in life. Both of these combinations are possible, which is where character becomes so important for a human being to receive blessings, or as one would also say in our Shastras, kripa. And this kripa is of Ishvara, kripa is of gurus, the kripa also of our pitras. And in general, from all the elements of our world, how do you get kripa? For that kripa to happen, character is a very important concept, and that's where character or building, or charitra nirman, as our shastras would say, is very important. But before that charitra nirman happens, before we start working on our character, we have to understand there is a leaking bucket that we are dealing with. That leaking bucket is what is diluting our character, what is destroying our character. So even if you were to try and work on good character, good qualities, that leakage, the dilution of character which is being caused by the Shadvikaras is a big problem. So focus on this. Before you start learning positive things, have a good check on your Shadvikaras. And that's why in our Ashtanga Yoga also it is said Yama and Niyama, which is internal regulation and external regulation, is so critical for us. When you do Yama, the way you deal with the external world becomes very focused. When you do Niyama, which is internal regulation, the way you deal with your own self becomes very focused. And that is a very powerful stepping stone of eliminating all your Shadvikaras. Now, a summary of those 6 videos, and I had spoken about this in detail, that when we are engaged in a lot of kama or lustful engagement with the material world, and also lust in general towards sex, etc., or addictions, it destroys our wisdom, it destroys our restraint, it destroys our stability, our balance and progress. So you see, when the wisdom goes away, when restraint goes away, the way our mind engages with life itself becomes very loop-sided, and it's full of flaws, the way we do that. Krodha destroys our judgment, which is also referred to as viveka in our shastras. Our peace, our energy, our health, our compassion, our relationships. Krodha destroys all of these things, and it brings us to a point of isolation in life. The lobha, or the greed in our life, especially greed of that which others have, it destroys our dharma, because we start taking shortcuts in life and we forget our swadharma, our life, and we go away from the path of our purushartha that has been written for us, and we try to look at what others have shortcuts to get there, gain that. So, Lobha destroys dharma, inner clarity, stillness, and also our contentment, or as it is referred as santosha in our shastras. And then comes moha, which is attachment, and that attachment causes a lot of bondage, again destroying our viveka completely, or the power of discrimination here, our vision in life. It also takes away our independence and our focus. And with those getting destroyed, again, it's very easy for a person to become very wayward. And what Mada does, which is pride and arrogance, that does the biggest damage, because it completely destroys our humility, our grace in life, our blessings in life, our access to our higher self, and our chances of success. And if you're successful, it can destroy your success also. But most importantly, it destroys the possibilities of life, or the possibilities that you carry in your jadagam and your yogas. And lastly, Matsarya, which is jealousy, it completely destroys your peace, goodwill, gratitude, and your appreciation. So you see, with these kama, krodha, lobha, moha destroying your wisdom, kama destroying wisdom, krodha destroying judgment, lobha destroying dharma, moha destroying your vision and independence, mada destroying your grace and blessings, matsarya destroying your peace and goodwill. Where will you be in life? You will be at a place where, even if you were bestowed with the best education, the best elements of parenting, the best elements of background, the best gurus, you will still destroy your own self. That's why it's so important to control these Shadvikaras and eliminate them. So my invitation, work with your gurus, work with your teachers, coaches, mentors, whoever you have, figure out an answer for yourself if you have one of those challenges. I have given you some very deep solutions coming from our Shastras in my 6 videos. Do take a look at that. But at the end of the day, you need to get rid of these Shadavikaras. Remember, these Shadavikaras are diluting your character. They are killing your character. They are like a leaking bucket. No matter what effort you're going to make in life, somewhere or the other, you will pay a price. See, if you make an effort of 100, if you don't get a result of 100 because of your Kundali, it is fine. But you need to still make the effort. But if you have that power and if you're not getting the results, it's very dangerous. So don't create those leakages. Ultimately, if you have a leaking bucket in your character in life, it is going to dilute the efforts that you put in, dilute the results that you put in. It's going to be a source of great frustration. So fix your Shadavikaras and then start building your character with positive values, positive virtues for true, lasting, blessed success in life. Do yourself a big favor. As they say, the inner devils that you carry, the inner demons that you carry, that is what you need to control. The Shadavikaras, kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada and matsarya. Very soon in the future, I will also speak to you about lying, deceit, grief, and several of these other qualities which possibly are not directly covered in these Shadavikaras, but there is a way and understanding of those which I will talk to you about. But till then, be watchful of who you are becoming, and whoever you are becoming, stop the leaking bucket of your character with the closing of these Shadavikaras and focus on life in a positive way.